Chosen one, your presence here isn't a mere coincidence. The celestial spheres have meticulously aligned, orchestrating this moment to draw you into a word delivered with impeccable timing. A shift is occurring within the spiritual realm, positioning you on the cusp of a supernatural breakthrough. A divine wealth transfer inscribed with your very name. Anointed one, God is unveiling your eyes, for the path you're about to tread carries significant weight. As the scriptures proclaim, the steps of a righteous individual are guided by the Lord. Today, your journey has led you to revelation, protection, and prophetic direction. Open your spirit, for what you're about to receive isn't just information. It's instruction, a divine roadmap laid out before you. Chosen one, there are instances in life where everything appears flawless on the surface. A door you've yearned to open for years, a connection that feels divinely ordained, an opportunity that seems to align perfectly with your deepest desires. Yet, the spirit within you urges caution. Not every open door is a gateway opened by God. Some are meticulously crafted illusions, designed to mimic your prayers, built to divert you from the path heaven established long before you even knew to seek guidance. The adversary isn't concerned with your comfort. He seeks to dismantle your calling. And if he can't obliterate you outright, he'll attempt to subtly steer you toward a counterfeit destiny, one that drains your power and delays the fulfillment of your promise. Anointed one, I am intimately familiar with this treacherous terrain. There were seasons in my own journey where something appeared so unequivocally right that I convinced myself it was divinely inspired. The timing was impeccable, the emotions were intense, and the doors swung open effortlessly. But what I perceived as favor turned out to be a cleverly disguised distraction. What felt like destiny was, in reality, a detour cloaked in the language of blessing. And in those valleys, I learned a profound lesson. The enemy doesn't always attack with thunderous storms. Sometimes, he attacks with agreements. Agreements you make when you're vulnerable, tired, lonely, excited, or desperate. Agreements that seem harmless, yet plant seeds of confusion that slowly, insidiously, blossom into entire seasons of delay. And chosen one, that's precisely why heaven is communicating with you with such urgency at this very moment. God is revealing the trap before you stumble into it. This isn't fear. It's an act of profound mercy. Just as he whispered to Samuel in the night, just as he rescued Joseph from temptation in secret moments, he is tugging at your spirit now because you stand at a sacred checkpoint. This moment was etched into your story long before you arrived at it. Heaven orchestrated this warning, this awakening, this clarity. Nothing about this is arbitrary. You may not fully grasp it yet, but your steps have been ordered for something far greater than you can imagine. Your next decision carries immense weight, for what's coming next in your life carries even greater significance. You're not on the verge of a minor shift, chosen one. You are standing at the very threshold of a divine release, a supernatural elevation that will impact not only you but also your children, your legacy, and the generations that will follow. That's why the pressure has felt heavier lately. That's why your spirit has been simultaneously excited and unsettled. The unique blend of expectation and resistance you've been experiencing isn't a coincidence. It's spiritual pressure, and spiritual pressure always intensifies right before a major breakthrough. I've personally navigated through that tension before every significant shift in my life, before every answered prayer, every unexpected provision, every supernatural opportunity. I felt that same weight, those moments of silence, those times when God seemed to cease speaking, those instances where I questioned my own discernment. But looking back, I can now see what I couldn't perceive then. God wasn't absent. He was positioning me. He wasn't delaying me. He was protecting me. Those quiet seasons were never about abandonment. They were about preparation. Chosen one, listen to me intently. God isn't asking you to decipher everything. He is asking you to trust him with a deeper level of surrender than you've ever experienced before. Sometimes the delay is a form of protection. Sometimes the silence is insulation. Sometimes the closed door is the loudest expression of love heaven could ever offer. I understand what it's like to crave something so intensely that you pray for it, fast for it, envision your life with it, only to later realize that God was shielding you from something you lacked the insight to see. It stings at first, it wounds your pride, but eventually, your spirit looks back and whispers, "Thank God that didn't work out." You are standing on the precipice of something holy. What God is about to do in your life won't require relentless striving. It will require unwavering obedience. This next breakthrough isn't earned through sheer effort. It's accessed through alignment. That's why you're being called to pause, to breathe, to carefully weigh your next step with spiritual sensitivity. Because not everything that appears good is from God. Not every offer is divinely ordained. Not every opportunity is anointed. And not every delay is a denial. Sometimes, it's an act of grace. Chosen one, the tension you feel is preparation. Heaven is clearing your path, stripping away everything that cannot accompany you into your next season, and drawing you closer to the version of yourself that can bear the weight of what you've prayed for. You're being trained to recognize God's voice above the clamor of your emotions, your desires, and even your expectations because what's coming next is far grander than you currently perceive. And God is safeguarding that greatness with unwavering intention. Chosen one, there comes a point in every spiritual journey when the cacophony of life begins to subside, leaving behind a peculiar, weighty stillness. It's the kind of stillness that makes you question everything, your timing, your decisions, your strength, even your discernment. But that stillness isn't a void. It's a veil. Heaven resides behind that veil, rearranging things you can't yet see, intercepting what was intended to harm you, and preparing what will soon be placed in your hands. Anointed one, I've endured seasons where everything seemed to come to a standstill. Opportunities paused, people withdrew, conversations ended abruptly, and plans crumbled without explanation. At the time, it felt like rejection, a personal affront. But now, looking back through the lens of hindsight, I realized those were the most divinely protected seasons of my life. God wasn't taking from me, he was shielding me from deals that would have drained me, relationships that would have shattered me, and paths that appeared promising but were riddled with spiritual landmines. That same protection is actively working on your behalf right now. You might not comprehend why a door slammed shut so abruptly, or why someone you trusted suddenly became distant. You may be asking, Lord, what did I do wrong? But chosen one, not every distance is a form of punishment. Sometimes, God is extracting you from something before it can drag you down. Sometimes, He allows a person to walk away so your destiny can walk in. Sometimes, He allows the whispers behind your back to surface, so you can discern the true intentions within someone's heart. This is the mercy of God in action. The enemy meticulously studies patterns, your hopes, your tendencies, your vulnerabilities. And when he can't outright destroy your purpose, he attempts to distract it. He cloaks counterfeits in familiar language, dresses traps in comfort, and times distractions to coincide with moments when you're tired, hopeful, or emotionally vulnerable. That's why discernment isn't optional for you in this season. Chosen one. It's absolutely essential, because you're not just navigating opportunities, you're navigating destinies. I've learned that discernment sharpens most profoundly in silence. Not in crowded rooms, not amidst the noise of ambition, but in those quiet moments when heaven whispers and everything else feels still. That's where God speaks with precision, where He unveils what your natural eyes can't detect, where He lifts the veil from conversations you weren't privy to, decisions made without your knowledge, and traps set in the shadows. Chosen one, heaven is exposing what you were never meant to carry into your next chapter. That nagging, uncomfortable gut feeling you've been dismissing. That sudden loss of interest in something you once fervently pursued. That shift in your circle that feels perplexing yet strangely peaceful. That's God. The Holy Spirit doesn't always shout. Sometimes, He simply withdraws your desire from the things that no longer align with your destiny. And this refinement isn't a punishment. It's preparation. You are being restructured from the inside out. Your appetite is changing. Your standards are rising. Your spirit is growing more selective. And that's because God is elevating you into realms that demand emotional maturity, spiritual clarity, and internal discipline. You can't carry old habits into new territory. You can't carry weak boundaries into a divine assignment. You can't carry every voice into a season that demands stillness and unwavering focus. Anointed one, hear this deep within your spirit. You are not being left behind. You are being lifted above. You are being extracted from what cannot thrive at the altitude you're ascending to. This is why you've been feeling disconnected from certain people. This is why places you once cherished now feel heavy. This is why conversations that used to excite you now feel shallow and unfulfilling. Heaven is rewiring you for the next dimension. And that next dimension won't simply be a rearranged version of your old life. It will be a completely new life revealed. But before God unveils what's next, He often removes what's now. That subtraction isn't a loss. It's alignment. It's heaven's way of creating space. The pruning you're undergoing isn't evidence of death. It's evidence of vibrant growth. A tree that yields abundant fruit is pruned the most diligently. Chosen one, I understand how challenging it is when God begins to remove things from your life. I've been through seasons where I clung to people God was trying to release, where I forced opportunities God had already shut down, where I ignored warnings because I didn't want to confront the truth. Every time I resisted the pruning, the pain intensified. But every time I surrendered, something far greater emerged. Surrender is your superpower. Now, the more you release, the more heaven releases to you. The more you open your hands, the more God fills them. The more you trust the silence, the louder His guidance becomes. Chosen one, this isn't just a transition. It's a profound transformation. What God is doing within you is far bigger than you can currently comprehend. You're not just being protected, you're being strategically positioned. You're not just being refined. You're being meticulously prepared for a supernatural shift that will alter the entire trajectory of your life. And this shift begins with surrender. Chosen one, as you continue to navigate this season of heightened spiritual sensitivity, you may have begun to notice something that feels both unsettling and strangely familiar. The quiet wrestling of your own thoughts, the subtle push and pull within your spirit, the inner questioning that arises whenever you stand at the edge of a pivotal decision. This isn't confusion. It isn't instability. It is the age-old tension between faith and feeling, between divine direction and emotional impulse. And every chosen one eventually encounters this inner crossroads because destiny always demands a deeper level of trust than the previous season required. Anointed one, understand this fundamental truth. Every major turning point in Scripture began with a question. Not a question from God, but a question whispered by the enemy into a human soul. In the Garden of Eden, the serpent didn't wield a weapon. He wielded a sentence. Did God really say? That single whisper has echoed through generations, finding its way into the hearts of every person standing on holy ground. You have heard it too, not necessarily through a serpent, but through circumstances, thoughts, desires, and moments of loneliness or urgency. The enemy doesn't need to completely derail your destiny. He only needs to subtly distort your discernment. And yet, chosen one, what sets you apart isn't that you face questions. It's that heaven has equipped you with the answers. The same Spirit that resurrected Christ from the dead resides within you, guiding you, convicting you, realigning you each time your emotions attempt to vote against your purpose. That inner tug of war you feel isn't a sign of weakness. It's proof that your spirit is awake and alert. It's proof that heaven has trained you to recognize counterfeits before they morph into devastating consequences. I've personally walked through this countless times. I can recall seasons when opportunities arose that looked flawless on the surface. Timely, attractive, convenient. But something deep inside me felt amiss. A quiet tightening, a soft hesitation, a whisper that urged, look again. Initially, I dismissed those promptings, assuming they were manifestations of fear. But after venturing into situations that later unraveled spectacularly, I learned to discern the crucial difference between anxiety and discernment. Anxiety screams, discernment whispers. Anxiety rushes, discernment pauses. Anxiety confuses, discernment clarifies. And chosen one, you have felt these whispers too. You know that gentle pull in your spirit that beckons you to slow down, to breathe, to seek God before taking a step forward. This is the divine intelligence residing within you, your spiritual compass speaking before your emotions can make decisions you'll later deeply regret. The more you honor that inner voice, the louder and clearer it becomes. The more you ignore it, the quieter it grows, until it's barely audible. This is why heaven persistently calls you back to stillness. In a world addicted to urgency and instant gratification, stillness is your secret weapon, your greatest advantage. In a culture that pressures you to react instantaneously, stillness becomes your sanctuary, a refuge from the storm. When the Israelites stood at the Red Sea, with their enemies closing in from behind and insurmountable waves crashing ahead, God didn't instruct them to run frantically in circles. He simply told them to be still. Not because stillness magically fixes everything, but because stillness aligns you with the God who can fix anything, who can move mountains and part seas. Chosen one, stillness is where revelation gathers, where clarity takes shape, where your spirit hears what your fear desperately tries to silence. And this is absolutely crucial because not every open door is divine. Not every opportunity is safe. Not every connection is sent to bless you. So much of your next breakthrough hinges on your ability to distinguish what merely feels right from what truly is right in God's eyes. There will always be doors that appear to be answers but ultimately lead to agonizing delay and frustration. There will always be people who speak like allies but harbor the spirit of distraction, subtly undermining your progress. There will always be moments that seem heaven-sent but are designed to subtly pull you away from the very path you fervently prayed to stay on. This is why God keeps you perpetually sensitive to His Spirit. It is why He separates you, isolates you, slows you down, and invites you into moments of profound solitude. He is meticulously sharpening your discernment so you won't mistake a cleverly disguised trap for a genuine treasure. An anointed one, you must deeply understand this. The enemy rarely tempts you with weakness or something overtly repulsive. He tempts you with desire, with things that appeal to your deepest longings. Eve wasn't tempted with something ugly or horrifying. She was tempted with something exquisitely pleasing to the eye, something that promised wisdom and enlightenment. Jesus wasn't tempted with things beneath him or unworthy of his attention. He was tempted with things he could easily rationalize, things that seemed justifiable and even beneficial. You too will be tempted not by what repulses you but by what closely resembles your prayers, by things that appear to be the very answers you've been seeking. Counterfeits always arrive dressed as authentic promises. This is why spiritual maturity isn't solely about saying yes to God. It's equally about saying no to anything that dilutes your destiny, anything that diminishes your potential. No to distractions that constantly vie for your attention. No to impulsive decisions driven by fleeting emotions. No to premature connections that drain your energy. No to opportunities that demand far more than they offer. No to environments that feel comfortable but ultimately lead nowhere of lasting significance. No to conversations that lower your vibration and pollute your spirit. No to desires that grow louder and more insistent than your God-given purpose. Chosen one, rejecting what appears good on the surface is sometimes the highest form of obedience, a testament to your unwavering faith. Because sometimes the most challenging aspect of walking in purpose isn't choosing the right path. It's resolutely refusing the almost right one, the path that seems so appealing yet subtly leads you astray. You have been feeling this tension lately, haven't you? That palpable sense that something is shifting, that the stakes feel significantly higher, that the choices you make now carry more spiritual weight than ever before. This is because you're not merely making decisions for today. You are actively shaping decades to come. What you say yes to now will reverberate into your future, impacting your family, your legacy, and generations yet unborn. But hear this liberating truth. God isn't asking you to shoulder this burden alone. He isn't demanding perfection. He is simply asking you to be perceptive, to be attuned to His guidance. He isn't requiring you to know every single step along the way, just to trust Him with the next one. He isn't demanding speed or frantic activity. He is patiently cultivating surrender within your heart. And surrender is where true power flows. When you surrender your carefully constructed timeline, heaven accelerates it, aligning it with its perfect timing. When you surrender your limited understanding, heaven expands it, revealing insights you never imagined possible. When you surrender your meticulously laid plans, heaven replaces them with a destiny far grander and more fulfilling than anything you could have conceived. This is why the silence has felt so heavy lately. This is why the waiting has felt sacred, pregnant with anticipation. This is why your spirit has been restless, yearning for something more. Heaven has been diligently working behind the scenes while you've been wondering, while you've been questioning. There are crucial conversations unfolding in rooms your feet have not yet entered. There are pivotal decisions being made that will shift circumstances dramatically in your favor. There are divine assignments being rearranged specifically because your name is indelibly written on them. The trap that the enemy so carefully set is being dismantled piece by piece, its power neutralized. The door the enemy desperately tried to slam shut is being reinforced by legions of angels, making it impenetrable. The confusion he attempted to sow is being miraculously transformed into crystal clear clarity. You are not behind in any way. You are not forgotten, lost in the shuffle. You are not wandering aimlessly. You are being strategically positioned for something extraordinary. Chosen one, the tension you feel isn't a sign that something is amiss. It's resounding confirmation that something extraordinary is on its way, something holy, something weighty with significance, something meticulously designed by heaven itself. Hold on to your peace. Maintain your posture of faith. Guard your discernment fiercely. You are closer than you think to your breakthrough. Chosen one, as you continue to navigate this transformative season of divine refinement, you must deeply understand the immense weight of what is unfolding behind the scenes, beyond your immediate perception. Heaven isn't merely protecting you from harm. Heaven is strategically positioning you for unparalleled success. The subtle shifts you felt, the prolonged silences, the unexpected distances that have emerged, the abrupt endings that seem to come out of nowhere, none of it is random or arbitrary. It is all part of a supernatural rearrangement, a divine orchestration meant to meticulously prepare you for the breaking open of your next season, a season overflowing with blessings. Anointed one, there is a profound spiritual truth that many overlook. Before God launches someone into the fullness of their destiny, he invariably separates them from anything and anyone that could potentially sabotage the blessing he is about to bestow. That separation can feel jarring, even cruel, can feel abrupt and disorienting, can even feel like abandonment, as though you've been left to fend for yourself. But in reality, heaven is simply removing you from the reach of traps you weren't even aware existed, snares designed to ensnare you and derail your progress. Some betrayals never reached you because God intercepted them before they even left the treacherous hand that plotted them. Some conversations were divinely shut down before they could wound your spirit with their venomous words. Some connections dissolved because their very presence would have poisoned your path, hindering your growth and dimming your light. And yet, you likely wondered why certain people seemed to vanish from your life. You wondered why a once vibrant friendship grew cold and distant. You wondered why someone who had always been there for you suddenly stopped showing up, leaving you feeling confused and abandoned. Chosen one, heaven saw what you couldn't see, perceived the hidden dangers lurking beneath the surface. God heard the insidious whispers you never heard, detected the malicious intentions concealed behind a disarming smile, and discerned the ulterior motives lurking behind seemingly generous acts. He saw the jealousy masked as admiration, the envy subtly tucked behind the veil of support. He saw the private conversations where your name was mishandled, misused, and misunderstood, where your character was unfairly tarnished. And because he loves you too deeply to allow your precious destiny to be contaminated, to be tainted by negativity and malice, he intervened quietly, strategically, and completely. There were countless nights you wept over what was lost, over what slipped through your fingers, not realizing that God was simultaneously preserving what was yet to come, shielding you from future heartache. There were moments you mourned the end of something that felt so right, so promising, not knowing that God was meticulously making room for what was truly aligned with his perfect plan for your life. Some doors didn't close because you somehow failed. Those doors closed because God's boundless mercy arrived just in the nick of time, preventing a disaster from unfolding. Chosen one, this is precisely why your spirit has been feeling the shift so intensely, why you've been experiencing such a profound internal transformation. Everything that once felt familiar is undergoing a dramatic change. Your appetite for certain things is evolving. Your desires are being refined. Even your thoughts are being recalibrated, aligning more closely with God's will. You no longer crave the same superficial conversations. You no longer feel at home in the places you once loved, the places that once brought you comfort. You no longer desire the distractions you once tolerated, the things that once seemed harmless but now feel empty and unsatisfying. That's not disappointment. That's divine detox in action. The Holy Spirit is actively cleansing your environment, your relationships, your mind, and even your ingrained emotional patterns. He is meticulously stripping away the lingering residue of old seasons, preparing you to walk into your next chapter with a clear spirit, a renewed mind, and a steadfast soul. You are being prepared for a supernatural elevation, a promotion that will thrust you into new realms of influence and impact. And elevation invariably demands separation. You cannot ascend to new heights while dragging dead weight behind you, clinging to things that are holding you back. You cannot expand your horizons while surrounded by those who benefit from your stagnation, those who are threatened by your growth. I've personally navigated through these challenging seasons myself, seasons where everything within me felt like it was being pulled apart, dissected, and reassembled. I remember feeling disoriented, questioning everything, wondering why God was asking me to walk away from things that weren't inherently wrong, things that seemed perfectly acceptable. But later, I learned a crucial lesson. Not everything that is good is necessarily godly for your specific assignment, for the unique purpose God has called you to fulfill. Not every opportunity that presents itself is divinely ordained. Not every connection that you forge is destined to be a lifelong partnership. And not every familiar thing belongs in your future. Chosen one, some of the people who applauded you the loudest were secretly assigned to monitor you, to keep tabs on your progress, not to genuinely support you and champion your cause. Some who outwardly profess to love your calling are actually more enamored with the perceived benefits of being close to you than with the responsibility of truly honoring your purpose and safeguarding your anointing. God had to reveal this not to inflict pain upon you but to liberate you, to set you free from these toxic influences. Because for where he is about to take you, you simply cannot afford distracted loyalty, counterfeit support, or half-hearted partnerships. This next season demands purity of vision, unwavering clarity of intention, and a circle of influence that is beyond reproach. God is actively removing what harms you so he can unleash what truly helps you, what propels you forward. You are being aligned with destiny partners, individuals who will protect your anointing, honor your calling, and elevate your purpose, working alongside you to achieve great things for the kingdom. These are the ones who won't drain your spiritual oil, leaving you depleted. They will instead guard your well, ensuring you remain replenished and energized. They will not compete with your growth, attempting to outshine you. They will contribute to it, celebrating your success and encouraging you to reach new heights. But before these divine alignments can fully materialize, heaven must first empty your hands of everything that has been weighing you down, hindering your progress. That's precisely why you're experiencing this sacred subtraction, this divine clearing. Not because you are somehow losing out, but because you are being meticulously prepared for abundance, for a blessing that will overflow in every area of your life. Chosen one, what is coming next is far too holy to be surrounded by chaos, too precious to be shared indiscriminately with just anyone, too powerful to be placed in an environment that isn't conducive to its growth and flourishing. Heaven is creating a circle of clarity and protection around you, because the next season of your life will require unwavering obedience to God's voice, keen discernment to navigate complex situations, and full sensitivity to the leading of the Holy Spirit. You are being prepared for a supernatural promotion, a shift of such profound weight that the old version of you, the you that existed before this transformation began, simply could not carry it. God is shaping you into someone who can sustain what he is about to release, financially, spiritually, emotionally, and purposefully, ensuring that you are fully equipped to handle the immense blessing that is on its way. You are not being isolated or abandoned. You are being elevated to a higher plane. Chosen one, as you continue to navigate this season of holy transition, You must begin to perceive the pressure surrounding you through spiritual eyes, understanding its deeper purpose. This pressure isn't a sign that something is going terribly wrong. It is a powerful indication that something extraordinary is being formed within you, that you are being molded and shaped into the vessel God intends you to be. Heaven is preparing you for a blessing so immense that your current version cannot yet contain it, cannot yet fully grasp its magnitude. And whenever God prepares someone for elevation, he invariably strengthens the inner vessel, the core of their being, that will ultimately have to sustain that elevation, ensuring that they are able to handle the increased responsibility and influence. Anointed one, I deeply understand the weight of this season, the sense of unease and uncertainty that can sometimes creep in. I have personally lived through moments where everything in my life felt constricted, unclear, and strangely heavy, as though I were carrying an invisible burden. Times where I fervently prayed for answers, but received only silence in return, leaving me feeling lost and confused. Times where my heart yearned for forward movement, for a clear path ahead, yet all I felt was relentless spiritual resistance, hindering my progress at every turn. During those challenging seasons, I questioned everything, questioned myself, questioned my timing, questioned whether I had somehow missed God's direction, veering off course. But now, I can look back through the clarifying lens of hindsight and finally comprehend what my anxious mind could not grasp in the midst of the storm. God wasn't punishing me or withholding his blessings. He was conditioning me, preparing me for something greater. The pressure you are currently experiencing is purposeful. It is not intended to break you, but to build capacity within you, to fortify your spirit and strengthen your resolve. Because the truth is this: you cannot pour from a weak or damaged vessel. You cannot effectively minister to others if you are depleted and broken. And you certainly cannot carry supernatural blessing with fragile foundations. You need a strong and resilient base to support the weight of what God is about to entrust to you. God strengthens you privately in the secret place so he can ultimately trust you publicly, entrusting you with greater influence and responsibility. He meticulously refines you quietly, away from the spotlight, so he can release you boldly, empowering you to step into your destiny with confidence and unwavering faith. And chosen one, you are currently in the refining fire, undergoing a process of purification and transformation. Not a fire meant to consume you and leave you in ashes, but a fire meant to clarify you, to strip away the impurities and reveal the pure gold within. Your motives are being purified, ensuring they are aligned with God's heart. Your discernment is being sharpened, enabling you to distinguish between what is genuine and what is counterfeit. Your emotions are being stabilized, preventing them from swaying you from your purpose. Your identity is being reinforced, reminding you of who you are in Christ and the power you possess. Heaven is actively removing. Here's the translation and expansion, aiming for a deeply creative and stylistic rendition. God's meticulously dismantling every flawed foundation within your thinking, ensuring that when divine favor arrives, you won't inadvertently sabotage it with the ghosts of past hurts, ingrained habits, or paralyzing fears. This is the sacred, often unsettling, journey of inhabiting the space between the person you once were and the extraordinary being you're destined to become. It often feels constricting, almost as if life itself is shrinking inward. Yet what appears as diminishment is, in reality, intense focusing. The Almighty is narrowing your path not to limit you, but because he's poised to amplify your influence far beyond your current understanding. He's minimizing distractions so he can maximize your authority, stripping away all that is superfluous so he can unleash a cascade of abundance upon you. And yes, it feels intensely tight. Yes, it echoes with a profound silence. Yes, the waiting may stretch on far longer than you anticipated. But, chosen one, do not mistake this quietude for divine abandonment. God is not ignoring you. Rather, he's meticulously editing the storyline of your life with surgical precision. He's excising every element that could potentially harm your future trajectory, all to position you precisely where you rightfully belong. I've gleaned a powerful truth through my own seasons of delay. Silence often serves as the very soundtrack of God's construction. When the divine voice falls silent, it usually signifies a profound restructuring is underway. When one door closes, believe that he's secretly preparing an even grander entrance behind the scenes. When your steps are slowed, it's because the celestial timing of your next season hasn't fully synchronized. Chosen one, you are not idly waiting for nothing. Your waiting is purposeful because the heavens are aligning something colossal, something weighty with destiny, something you simply couldn't have handled even a year ago. God is meticulously preparing you for a monumental shift, one that demands unwavering emotional stability, profound spiritual maturity, and absolute, unwavering obedience. This is precisely why the Holy Spirit continuously draws you inward, beckoning you away from the cacophony of noise, the recklessness of careless decisions, and the impulsivity of ill-considered actions. Because even a single misstep in this pivotal season could delay what the heavens have intricately prepared for you. One misguided agreement could drain years of accumulated progress. A single emotional outburst could divert you from the very door God is yearning to fling open. You aren't standing at some random crossroads. You are standing at a threshold of destiny. This is the moment where your choices matter more profoundly than ever before. This is the moment where your posture determines the scope of the promise. This is the moment where your complete surrender unlocks the supernatural release you've been longing for. Chosen one, the immense pressure you feel is the telltale sign that heaven is drawing near, closer than it has ever been. You are poised on the precipice of a sudden shift, an unexpected breakthrough, a supernatural promotion that will finally illuminate the purpose behind every moment of endurance. The wait, the stretching, the endless waiting. It is all meticulously preparing you for a blessing that will not break you but, rather, build you into something magnificent. You are not being pressed down, you are being strategically positioned. Chosen one, as you journey deeper into this sacred transformation, you must grasp that what you're experiencing now isn't isolation, it's insulation. The heavens have strategically placed a protective covering around your life, because the next phase of your journey demands a level of safeguarding you didn't require before. You are stepping into deeper currents, ascending to higher realms, embracing greater responsibilities, and wielding greater spiritual authority. And with such elevation comes the absolute necessity of separation. Anointed one, you may have noticed during this season that certain conversations no longer resonate. Certain individuals no longer hold the same sacred space within your spirit, and certain environments no longer offer you solace. This is not mere coincidence. It's God recalibrating your internal compass. Your spirit is beginning to discern what your mind once unknowingly overlooked. You are becoming acutely sensitive to misalignment, acutely sensitive to spiritual interference, acutely sensitive to anything that threatens your anointing. And that heightened sensitivity is, in itself, a divine gift. There was a time in my own life when I clung to connections out of loyalty, not discernment. I lingered in familiar places, not because they nurtured my well-being but because they were simply familiar. I held on to patterns because they felt normal, even though they were subtly draining my inner fire. Every time God whispered, "Let go," I hesitated. Not from a lack of trust in Him, but from a lack of trust in my own ability to stand alone. But the moment I finally obeyed, everything transformed. My clarity sharpened. My discernment awakened. My spirit surged with strength. God unveiled truths I could never have perceived had I remained entangled in the noise. That quiet separation became the very gateway into my next ordained season. Chosen one, that is precisely where you stand right now. You are in the sacred hallway between seasons, the place where silence speaks volumes louder than any sound, the place where old relationships gracefully fade so that new, divinely ordained connections can enter, the place where God strips away distractions so He can reveal crystal clear direction, the place where heaven whispers instructions too delicate and profound for crowded spaces. You may feel alone, but in truth you are being expertly guided. You may feel stripped bare, but you are being secured in preparation. You may feel separated, but you are being singled out for a purpose beyond comprehension. Understand this, when God prepares to elevate someone, He removes every voice that would pull them backward. He eliminates every influence that would breed fear or foster doubt. He severs every attachment that was comfortable but not rooted in covenant. And though it may feel like loss, it is, in reality, divine provision. God is clearing the atmosphere around you so that He can communicate with you without interference. Anointed one, this is why your spirit feels altered. You no longer possess the tolerance you once had. Your soul instantly detects hidden agendas. You can discern the profound difference between those who genuinely love you and those who merely benefit from you. This newfound clarity isn't arrogance. It is growth. It is heaven maturing your discernment so that you won't squander your next season on the wrong people or in the wrong places, because what lies ahead is too precious to be mishandled. God is aligning you for supernatural opportunities, a shift that demands clean hands, a pure heart, and a laser-focused mind. A blessing that requires careful stewardship, not confusion. A breakthrough that cannot be shared with everyone who merely stood alongside you in a previous chapter. This is precisely why God is pruning you. This is precisely why people are being strategically repositioned. This is precisely why your desires are undergoing transformation. This is precisely why your spirit keeps nudging you to step back, remain silent, and observe. Heaven is bestowing upon you a new spiritual filter, one designed to protect the purity of your purpose. And chosen one, you must trust this intricate process. You must trust the distance that has been created. You must trust the discomfort. You must trust that God never removes anything without replacing it with something infinitely better, stronger, and more aligned with your destiny. You are being stripped away so that you can be strengthened. You are being quieted so that you can hear God's voice with unparalleled clarity. You are being separated so that you can be sent on a mission only you can fulfill. What God is constructing around you is sacred. What God is birthing within you is rare and precious. And what God is preparing ahead of you is worth every ounce of surrender required. Now, chosen one, as you walk ever deeper into this unfolding season, the heavens are not only purifying your surroundings, they are also awakening your internal world. You may not fully perceive it yet, but something profound within you has been shifting. You think differently. You react differently. You discern differently. And this is no accident. It is a soul-level transformation. God isn't simply safeguarding your path. He's maturing your spirit so that you can traverse that path with unwavering authority, crystal-clear clarity, and laser-like spiritual precision. Anointed one, you've sensed it, haven't you? The old version of you no longer fits. The conversations that once entertained you now drain you of your very essence. The activities that once provided a distraction now feel utterly empty. Even the emotions that once controlled you now feel foreign and distant. This is heaven upgrading your internal operating system. God is gently pulling you out of the emotional cycles and mental loops that once ensnared you. He is silencing the insecurities that once defined you. He is dismantling the patterns that once held you back. What you're experiencing is not confusion. It is recalibration. I've personally navigated this kind of profound recalibration. There were seasons where I found myself weeping over things I couldn't quite understand, feeling utterly exhausted for no discernible physical reason, yearning for solitude even when surrounded by loved ones. I later discovered these were not emotional breakdowns. They were spiritual breakthroughs in disguise. God was detoxifying me, removing the lingering residue of past wounds, past expectations, and past identities. And it took time for my spirit to fully adjust to the magnificent being I was becoming. Chosen one, you are undergoing that same holy recalibration. Heaven is stripping your soul of everything that no longer belongs. The heaviness you sometimes feel isn't depression. It's the weight of spiritual transition. The sudden desire for silence isn't isolation. It's your spirit yearning for divine instruction. The loss of interest in superficial conversations isn't rudeness. It's the awakening of your deeper purpose. You are being meticulously prepared to carry revelation, not noise. Purpose, not pressure. Wisdom, not wounds. This is precisely why your emotions feel so much sharper, why your instincts feel so much louder, why your discernment feels so much more urgent. God is strengthening the inner muscles essential for your next assignment. This next chapter will demand spiritual sensitivity, mental discipline, and emotional maturity. And heaven refuses to allow you to enter it carrying the fragility of past seasons. Anointed One, hear this with absolute clarity. Your spirit is evolving at a pace that far outstrips your external environment, and that disconnect can feel profoundly disorienting. You may feel as though you've outgrown certain friendships, even if there's been no overt conflict. You may feel drawn away from familiar places, even if you can't fully articulate why. Your heart may feel unsettled around individuals you once implicitly trusted. That is spiritual awareness awakening deep within you. It is heaven declaring that these things no longer align with where you are headed. And though these transitions may feel uncomfortable, they are absolutely necessary. Your destiny requires a wiser, stronger, and cleaner version of you than the one who embarked on this journey. You are stepping into responsibilities that demand unshakable emotional clarity. You are entering a season of blessings that requires profound spiritual discipline. You are being positioned for doors that require a stable soul to walk through. This is why God is so intensely addressing your internal world. He is meticulously healing wounds you never openly discussed. He is breaking attachments you didn't even realize were unhealthy. He is uprooting beliefs that unjustly limited your self-worth. He is silencing the voices that incorrectly shaped your identity. Every layer being peeled back is an integral part of your divine preparation. Chosen One, transformation often feels like loss before it feels like liberation. Releasing old identities, old connections, and old versions of yourself can feel like a form of grief. But what you are grieving is not your future. It's your former self, the version of you that was necessary for your survival, but cannot remain for your revival. And God is so utterly committed to your destiny that He will not allow you to carry old wounds into new blessings. He will not allow you to drag old patterns of thinking into supernatural opportunities. He will not allow you to enter a new season dressed in the garments of old pain. This is precisely why your heart feels so tender. This is precisely why your emotions feel stretched and vulnerable. This is precisely why your spirit feels so raw and open. You are being made anew. You are being reformed from the inside out. You are becoming the vessel your calling requires. Anointed One, do not rush this internal reconstruction. Do not resist what is being removed. Do not fear what is changing. What feels like unraveling is, in truth, strengthening. What feels like instability is, in reality, restructuring. What feels like breaking is, in essence, becoming. God is meticulously building a version of you that can withstand elevation without collapsing, that can manage influence without losing humility, and that can handle abundance without losing focus. He is preparing you spiritually, emotionally, and mentally, because what lies ahead will stretch you in ways you cannot yet envision. But it will also bless you in ways you never thought possible. Chosen One, trust in this becoming. It is holy. It is divine. It is absolutely necessary. Chosen One, as this transformation continues, the heavens are not only reshaping who you are, they are also reshaping what surrounds you. You may have recently noticed that certain places, habits, and even long-held desires no longer feel aligned. This is not coincidental. It is divine strategy at work. God isn't solely preparing you internally. He is also rearranging the external environment required for your elevation. Anointed One, when God prepares to unleash a blessing of significant weight, He begins by cleansing the atmosphere around His chosen. Suddenly, invitations that once thrilled you now feel draining. Conversations that once captivated you now feel shallow. People you once thought would journey alongside you begin to drift away without conflict or explanation. This isn't rejection. It is refinement. God is removing the distractions that could potentially sabotage your next chapter. I've personally walked this path. There were times when I didn't comprehend why people I deeply admired suddenly kept their distance, why certain opportunities mysteriously vanished, or why routines that once brought comfort began to feel burdensome. I questioned myself, wondering if I had somehow erred. But later, I realized something profound. God was clearing the stage, creating space for what was to come. And if the old remained, the new would have no room to take root. Chosen One, that same sacred clearing is happening for you right now. What feels like loss is actually preparation. What feels like confusion is actually realignment. What feels like loneliness is actually consecration. Heaven is gently pulling you into an environment where your spirit can breathe, grow, and ascend without contamination. You may feel the tension of being in between, no longer who you once were, yet not fully embodying the person you are becoming. This in-between space is holy ground. It is the womb of destiny, the quiet corridor where God reshapes your identity and your surroundings before unveiling your next assignment. Many abandon the journey at this stage because it feels unfamiliar and unsettling. But Chosen One, this is the passage every anointed soul must traverse before promotion. Anointed One, the reason this shifting feels so heavy is because what you carry is weighty. Your purpose is not insignificant. Your calling is not casual. And your assignment is not ordinary. That is why the pruning is so deep. God is not allowing anything unworthy to cling to you. You are being prepared to step into a blessing that demands purity of intention, clarity of thought, and strength of spirit. And hear this with unwavering attention. God is not just removing people. He is actively preparing to send new ones. People who will not merely like you but truly understand you. People who will not drain you but instead cover you with support. People who will not compete with you but instead collaborate with you. People who possess spiritual maturity, emotional stability, and divine alignment. Destiny partners, purpose protectors, people who recognize your calling not as a threat but as a divinely appointed assignment. The connections entering your life will not bring confusion. They will bring clarity. They will feel peaceful, not performative. They will feel steady, not chaotic. They will feel like home, not like a battlefield. Heaven is orchestrating relationships that perfectly match your growth, your purpose, and your spiritual stature. And as this shift unfolds, you will also notice an awakening within your heart. A readiness you cannot fully articulate. A sense that something is breaking open. A sense that the next chapter is not simply approaching but is already rumbling in the unseen realm. This is the unmistakable signal that your atmosphere has reached spiritual readiness. God never elevates anyone into chaos. He elevates them into prepared space. Chosen One, do not fear the unknown. The unknown is simply the terrain where God has already walked ahead of you. Do not mourn what has left. What left you simply could not carry you to where you are going. Do not cling to what is fading. What is fading has fulfilled its purpose. Release it with gratitude. You are standing in a divine transition where heaven is meticulously shaping both the vessel and the environment. The inner work and the outer work are unfolding in perfect harmony. And when the alignment is complete, when your spirit and your surroundings match the magnitude of your calling, the release will be sudden, supernatural, and unstoppable. Anointed one, this is not the end of something familiar. It is the dawn of something holy. Chosen one, as you move further into this divine unfolding, you may begin to sense something stirring deep beneath the surface of your daily existence. A quiet shift, a spiritual trembling, a subtle yet unmistakable awareness that heaven is rearranging everything around you with intentional precision. The very atmosphere of your life is shifting even before your eyes can fully register the evidence. You are walking through the kind of transition that doesn't announce itself with clamorous noise but with an inner knowing. Anointed one, this is the stage of destiny where God operates most silently. He doesn't shout, he doesn't offer advance warnings, and he doesn't offer explanations. He simply positions, separates, redirects, and realigns, often without giving you any advance notice. And while this may feel unsettling, it is one of the clearest signs that you are crossing from one spiritual dimension into another. In the early stages of my own transformation, I struggled to understand this silence. Initially, it felt like abandonment. I questioned why doors were suddenly closing, why familiar faces were fading away, and why the path ahead seemed so unclear. But over time, I realized something profound. Silence is not the absence of God. Silence is the strategy of God. When heaven prepares to elevate you, it often hides you, quiets you, blinds your enemies, and softens your spirit so you are ready to move when the command finally arrives. Chosen one, the silence surrounding you is not punishment. It is protection, it is preparation. It is the holy pause before a supernatural shift. You may feel as though everything around you has slowed down, but spiritually, everything is accelerating. Heaven is not merely waiting, it is actively working on your behalf in ways you cannot possibly fathom. People are being removed from positions they were never intended to hold in your life. Assignments that once drained you are being decisively cut off. Opportunities that were misaligned with your future are being shut down before they even reach your grasp. You are being spared from mistakes you didn't even know you were on the verge of making. Destiny often appears as a delay until God unveils what he was actively protecting you from. And chosen one, the protection of God is often disguised as frustration. The setback you experienced wasn't sabotage. It was salvation. The relationship that collapsed wasn't rejection. It was redirection. The job that slipped through your fingers wasn't loss. It was liberation. You are being excavated from every environment, mindset, and connection that cannot support the weight of your next level. This is why the pruning feels so deep. You are not simply being cut back. You are being carved into a purpose that is uniquely your own. Anointed one, something else is happening too. Your spiritual discernment is increasing at a pace that even surprises you. You are noticing things you used to overlook. You are sensing motives behind words, intentions beneath actions, and the spiritual energy behind even the most disarming smiles. This isn't paranoia. It's perception. Heaven is teaching you how to see beyond the surface so you can navigate your destiny without stumbling into unnecessary traps. And with this heightened awareness comes another shift, a profound change in appetite. What once entertained you now drains you. What once satisfied you now feels shallow and empty. The environments where you once felt comfortable now feel stifling. That discomfort is not a sign that something is wrong with you. It's proof that your spirit is outgrowing the spaces your body still occupies. You are becoming too expansive for rooms that were built for the old you. Chosen one, this is the moment where many people attempt to shrink themselves back into a false sense of familiarity. But you cannot afford to do that. You cannot revert to who you once were when heaven is beckoning you toward the magnificent being you are destined to become. The stretching you feel is divine. The restlessness is prophetic. You are not being pushed into discomfort. You are being pulled into destiny. And destiny requires discomfort because no one arrives at their calling through convenience. Every elevation demands expansion. Every breakthrough demands breaking. Every new chapter demands the death of an old one. And you, chosen one, are in the midst of a profound spiritual rebirth. You may not yet see the full masterpiece, but you feel the pull. You feel the urgency. You feel the holy discontent that whispers, life cannot remain the same. That sensation is heaven's declaration that the old season has expired. You are no longer tethered to what once limited you. You are no longer bound to the cycles that held you captive. You are no longer who you once were, even if you haven't fully stepped into the fullness of who you are becoming. And now, in this sacred in-between, heaven is shaping you with masterful care. You are learning patience. You are learning the power of silence. You are learning to pause before making impulsive decisions. You are learning to allow God to speak before your emotions do. You are learning that discernment is not a fleeting moment. It's a conscious lifestyle. Chosen one, hear this with absolute clarity. You are on the verge of a breakthrough that will demand all of this spiritual training. You are standing on the precipice of opportunities the heavens have reserved exclusively for you. You are walking toward doors that will swing open not because of your relentless effort but because of your divine alignment. And when that moment arrives, when God whispers, now, everything that felt heavy will suddenly make sense. Every delay will unveil its hidden purpose. Every separation will reveal its protective power. Every period of silence will expose its strategic intent. Chosen one, stand firm. Remain sensitive. Stay surrendered. You are not merely waiting. You are being strategically positioned, and heaven is closer than you think. Chosen one, as you stand in the sacred space between where you were and where God is leading you, there is a final truth heaven urgently needs you to understand. You are stepping into a season where your obedience, your discernment, and your alignment will resonate far louder than anything you could ever articulate with your spoken words. This next chapter is not about louder prayers. It is about a deeper posture, not about doing more but about becoming more. Anointed one, you have already sensed it, haven't you? The very atmosphere around your life feels different. Conversations carry a new weight. Decisions feel more spiritual than logical. Even your thoughts feel watched over, guided, corrected, and meticulously refined. This is because heaven has placed you under divine surveillance. You are being meticulously prepared like a vessel that must be strong enough to carry something weighty, something sacred, something supernatural. What is coming requires unshakable stability. It requires crystal clear clarity. It requires profound maturity. Heaven cannot pour precious oil into a shaky, unstable container. And you, chosen one, are being stabilized from the inside out. Every hesitation, every delay, every quiet moment of reflection has been meticulously shaping you, sanding you, stretching you, and strengthening you for the glory that is about to rest upon your life. This is precisely why the warfare intensified. This is precisely why the pressure increased. The enemy does not expend his energy attacking empty vessels. The weight you felt was the weight of the extraordinary potential you carry. You have been entrusted with spiritual responsibility, generational transformation, and a divine assignment that will echo throughout eternity. Heaven is not only investing in your present but is also securing your future for generations to come. Chosen one, you are stepping into a season where your spirit will lead in ways your mind cannot fully comprehend. You will experience nudges, warnings, confirmations, and divine instructions with unparalleled clarity. You will instinctively know what to avoid even before danger manifests. You will discern who to embrace and who to gently step away from. You will see through false intentions with unwavering ease. You will sense heaven's direction even when the path ahead appears impossibly narrow. And here is the unwavering truth. Heaven wants you to hold on loosely and trust deeply. You will not miss what God has destined for you. You cannot possibly fail a destiny that was written before you even took your first breath. You cannot lose what heaven has meticulously preserved. What is perfectly aligned with your purpose will flow to you effortlessly, like water following the unwavering pull of gravity. And what is not meant for you will fall away no matter how desperately you try to cling to it. This is the protective power of the heavens. The anointed, the chosen one. Lean into the divine current that carries you. Place your faith in the unfolding, the openings that beckon you forward, and the closings that gently guide you elsewhere. Trust even the redirections that defy earthly logic, that seem to make no sense in the realm of the tangible. Have faith in a timing that may feel agonizingly slow, stretching beyond your impatient expectations, yet simultaneously moves with a speed that outpaces your limited understanding. This is not discipline being meted out. It is preparation, meticulous and purposeful. And now, as this chapter quietly concludes, allow these truths to settle deep within your spirit, to take root and flourish in the fertile ground of your being. You are ready, not perfect, not flawless, not possessing complete and unwavering certainty, but ready in the way that heaven prepares its chosen vessels, through the refining fire of trials, through the profound stillness of introspection, through the stretching of faith beyond its perceived limits, and through the divine orchestration of events that shape your destiny. Chosen one, you have emerged from the wilderness, scarred perhaps, but stronger for the journey. You have navigated the labyrinth of testing, proving your resilience and commitment. You have been purified, refined like precious metal, ready to receive revelation, insight that will illuminate your path forward. What awaits you is not a mere whisper, a fleeting suggestion. It is a divine unveiling, a grand reveal of purpose and potential. Chosen one, as this word finds its completion, allow your spirit to remain receptive, unwavering, and profoundly aware of the divine work that has been initiated within you this day. This moment was not a chance occurrence, a random intersection of time and space. It was alignment, a convergence with your intended path. It was divine timing, a precise calibration orchestrated by unseen hands. You have stepped into a kairos moment, a sacred intersection where diligent preparation meets prophetic destiny, and heaven releases the blessings that earthly forces sought to withhold. Anointed one, hear this truth, imbued with the weight of its significance. The shift has already commenced. The supernatural transfer of grace, power, and provision is not a distant promise. It has begun its inexorable flow into your life. What God has declared over your existence is now setting itself in motion, like a celestial clockwork mechanism, rearranging circumstances, softening hardened hearts, unlocking previously inaccessible doors, and strategically positioning the resources you will need to fulfill your calling. You are not passively waiting for breakthrough. Breakthrough is actively waiting for you to take the next step of obedience, to move forward with unwavering faith and unwavering action. So walk forward with unwavering clarity, your vision focused on the path ahead. Stand firm with unwavering courage, unyielding in the face of adversity. Hold your peace with profound reverence, trusting in the divine plan unfolding around you. Heaven is not testing you with trials. Heaven is entrusting you with a mission. You are being ushered into a new chapter, meticulously crafted by the very hand of God, a narrative filled with purpose and promise. And nothing formed against you, no weapon, no scheme, no obstacle, will be able to rewrite what he has already authored, the destiny he has already ordained. Chosen one, I speak strength over your spirit, infusing you with resilience and unwavering resolve. I speak stillness over your mind, calming the turbulent thoughts and anxieties that threaten to overwhelm. And I speak holy fire over your assignment, igniting a passion within you that cannot be quenched. May discernment rise within you, guiding you through the complexities of the journey ahead. May gratitude anchor you, keeping you grounded in the blessings that surround you. And may favor surround you like an impenetrable shield, protecting you from harm and paving the way for success. You are covered, enveloped in divine protection. You are guided, led by an unseen hand. You are equipped, furnished with everything you need to accomplish the task set before you. If this message resonates within your spirit, if it sparks a flame of recognition and hope, declare your acceptance by writing, I receive it as a declaration of faith. Thank you for sharing this sacred moment with me, for allowing me to be a vessel for this message. Stay aligned with the divine. Remain surrendered to his will. What is coming next will confirm everything God has whispered to you today. solidifying your faith and illuminating your path forward.